What is going on, everybody? Zac Graham here for FTN Daily, ready to jump into game week 4 on the MLB side of things over at Sorare. If you're just getting into Sorare, let's talk a little bit about what we're getting into here. Sorare is a sports fantasy game and marketplace featuring officially licensed digital player cards from the NBA, MLB, and global football. With Sorare, you own and build teams, buying, selling, collecting, and trading officially licensed digital player cards, and compete with them in fantasy games to win rewards week over week and season over season, just like professional sports owners and general managers. Rewards for these contests include scarcity player cards and real life rewards such as tickets to games, autographed jerseys, VIP experiences, gift cards, and more. Bringing the physical and digital world together, Sorare is the future of fantasy sports, taking ownership to the next level, a true dynasty game in which players own their cards forever. And if you sign up for Sorare using the link in the description of this video, you're going to get a free limited card with the purchase of your first 5 cards on the primary marketplace. And I guess just a refresher, if we're still talking to some of the newbies here, and I'm a relative newbie to the MLB side of things here at Sorare as well. Once you join, you're going to draft a team of all common cards. Those are free, so you can play Sorare for free. But if you want to jump into some of the scarcity contests, we can look at the lobby here for game week 4. You see I've got access to all the common contests up here because I've drafted my common card or my common team to start my MLB collection. But if you go to the primary marketplace, you can win cards through the auction feature here, or you can buy cards on the primary marketplace from the manager sales tab and build out your collection that way. You can see in the lobby here, you've got the limited card contest, you've got the rare contest, super rare, and unique. Again, we're going to stick for our purposes to the common contest. Again, if you want a second set of eyes on anything with those scarcity contests, don't hesitate to reach out to me at Kawaisenberg DFS on Twitter or in the FTN MLB Discord chat. I guess before we jump into the common contest, how last week's lineup did and build one for game week 4, let's take a look at some of the manager sales here. Again, I still think that the best way right now, early in the season, to build your Sorare scarcity card collection on the MLB side of things is through the new card auctions. You can see just in the next 5 minutes, we've got a unique JD Martinez. You know, those unique cards, those are 1 of 1. So that low ask there on the one bid they've got in is about $500 there. But you see a minute left on this Tim Meza, about $1 for him. Garrett Cooper, $11 in the auction. So what I want to do is kind of compare what we've got going on in the manager sales versus the new card auctions. I've talked about Paul Goldschmidt, I think 2 videos in a row now. You know, he's got the MVP on his resume, even in the advanced stage of his career. Obviously, Paul Goldschmidt's still a highly sought after fantasy asset. And I think it's fitting this week because the Cardinals are going to be in Coors Monday through Wednesday here in game week 4. So the Cardinals, a team we want to target. So I guess we can just look at the new card auctions for the Cardinals. There's a super rare Goldschmidt there, $785. We'll stick to the limited cards here. So you've got, you know, still 5 hours left on this Nolan Arenado, but $3 right now on that bid. Here's a Goldschmidt limited, 5 hours left on that auction as well. $3 there. So again, like these specific auctions, you're not going to be able to get into your game week 4 lineups, but you look at some of these prices compared to going to the manager sales on these Cardinals, and you look at Paul Goldschmidt, just like we talked about last week, because there's so few of these limited cards, and limited cards have a mint count of 5,000 per season. So there will be 5,000 Paul Goldschmidt limiteds in the 2023 season. But because the season is so young, just game week 4, there are no 2023 Paul Goldschmidts here on the primary marketplace or from the direct manager sales. So all of these are 2022 cards. And of course, that limits the XP bonus that your scarcity card can have. You can still play older versions of these player cards in the 2023 game. You just have a lower XP bonus on those cards. So again, I think to get your 2023 cards, right now the best way is to still go through the auction. But I guess while we're here, we can look at some of these Cardinals playing in Coors this week against the Rockies. I think that's something, we target Coors, depending on ownership on the DFS side of things every week. And I think it should be no different here on Sorare, especially since we're not super concerned with ownership. Again, because of the variety of cards people are playing or that they have in these scarcity contests in their collections, and of course the varying XP bonuses. So if you wanted to pick up one of these 2022 Goldschmidts, you could do so for $65 here before the game week starts. And then I'm looking at Nolan Arenado, right, batting right behind him in that Cardinals batting order. There is a 2023 Arenado there, $85, $64 low ask on the 2022 card. So I guess like if I was going to look at one Cardinal to pick up for cheap this week, it's probably going to be Wilson Contreras, who has been in and out of the lineup, kind of platooning the catcher position so far for the Cardinals. But even if he gets in 2 of these 3 games out in Coors, like being able to pick up a 2022 Contreras for less than $10, like that seems like maybe the best way to get exposure for cheap to this Cardinals team in game week 4. Again, Contreras 20+ home runs each of the last 2 years, but now with the Cardinals yet to go yard in this young season. So probably no better place, right, than, I guess maybe we're bouncing between Coors and the Great American Ballpark, or Small Park, as some people like to call it. So again, if you wanted to get on that in the manager sales this week, then I think that Contreras not looking too shabby. And I imagine you can also probably pick up a Contreras pretty cheaply on the auction market. All right, enough talk about the market. Let's get to what happened last week. No rewards in yet for game week 3. I believe my common lineup landed in a tier 3 reward. You can see here about middle of the pack. Definitely got burned by the John Hernandez DNP. Did not appear all weekend for the Rangers. And then -2 from Giolito. I mean, this is just tough. 4 innings pitched, gives up 7 earned, allows 12 hits, gives me a -2 on the week. Maybe that, kind of lends to the strategy we were talking about last week, or just the theory of that extra player doesn't always need to be a starting pitcher, because you see somebody like Sal Perez or Victor Robles that we had in last week, 45 and 35 respectively. Like, it's going to be tough for a pitcher that's not in that top tier, I think, to consistently hit numbers like that. So when you've got 3 or 4 games to stack up hitting statistics compared to just one pitching outing, maybe a little bit safer, even though I guess maybe a little bit more upside if you do get that standout pitching performance from your pitcher. So waiting on my reward to come in. That may, I may slip in that reward depending on what it is to this lineup, but let's go ahead and build a lineup here. Again, upcoming lobby here for game week 4. Just a quick refresher. Again, of course, these are the common contests, the minors. This is going to be available to any manager who has completed the prospect competition, which is the first competition you ever compete in as a MLB manager here on Sorare. Once you play in that prospect contest, once you graduate to the minors. And again, this contest is limited to only common cards and only MLB owners that have not won a scarcity card yet in any of these other competitions that you see on the screen. The Common All-Star is the competition where that's open to all Sorare managers, no matter their collection or their experience level, but still only common cards allowed in that Common All-Star contest. Then you see the majors, the other contest that has been unlocked for me here. That one is available to all Sorare managers, only limited and common cards in that one, but limited cards used in that contest get a 40% scoring bonus. So in my opinion, if you don't have a limited card collection quite yet, I would not be jumping into that majors contest at this time. An easy way to do so, though, before we build this lineup and get out of here, we talked about the starter packs last week. There were only 3 different packs of 7 cards to get you started. Again, 7 cards is what you need to build a lineup. Much more options here leading up to game week 4. You see, 13 different packs of cards. You can see these packs respectively from bottom up would have finished last week in the limited all-star contest 22nd, 24th, 17th, 13th, 22nd, 24th, 23rd, 42nd, 23rd, 21st, 40th, 22nd, and 23rd. And again, all of these going for $70 for those 7 cards. So not bad deals there for, you know, a pack of cards that would have done you so well last week. You know, looking top 40 in that limited pro contest prize pool. Top 40, all of those lineups were top 40. Those would have netted you rare cards, okay? Rare cards. So I think those starter packs, if you're just looking to jump in and you don't have time to go search through all the manager sales and pick out your 7 cards that you want, or go through the auction and win enough auctions to field a team, starter pack probably a decent way to begin your collection. But again, I'm sticking in the minors again this week. We will ramp it up to the limited cards sooner or later. Most likely for me personally, after the NBA playoffs, we can sell off some of those NBA cards that we won't be needing next year and move that ETH over to the MLB side. I'm going to go Blake Snell here in my starting pitcher spot. You know, taking on the Mets, not great, but I do think Blake Snell, the highest upside here still out of my 3 pitchers. You notice Lucas Giolito, no longer in my collection, swapped him out for Chris Sale. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, Chris Sale been through a lot over the last few years. Again, John Hernandez, DNP for me over the weekend. And then Clay Holmes has been thrust into that closer role. You know, great first half last season for Clay Holmes, and then kind of just lost control of everything over the second half of the season. He's been really good so far to start this year, though. You look back at Clay Holmes, I mean, 39 points in game week 3. We don't need him to replicate that to be worth the play. We'll go to corner infielders here, going right back to Nate Lowe. My guy Moncada definitely cooled off over the last 2 game weeks after a hot start. My middle infielder here, of course, I've just got my 2 catchers. Sal Perez back in there after the big week. Never going away from Chris Bryant with this limited collection that I have right now when he's at home. So Chris Bryant getting in there for the 3-game set at Coors this week. And then for my extra hitter, I think I'm going to stick here with Victor Robles, who's been hot. Obviously, being at Coors last week helps, but a good start to the season for Victor Robles nonetheless. 13 in game week 1, and you see 20 points there in game week 2. So Robles get in there. And then I am going to go, I know we talked about maybe a second starting pitcher, not the best move, but I am going to go with Chris Sale here, taking on the Rays. Rays undefeated. So I guess maybe let's look at Hunter Green. Hunter Green's got the Braves here. 2 tough lineups to go against. So I'm going to go with my new acquisition, Chris Sale here. We'll see how he does after a good performance to start his season, or I guess his second performance on the year against the Tigers last week. And I guess this is more of a cross my fingers and hope play here with Chris Sale. You know, we'll have more options as we continue to build out our common collection over the course of the season. And again, don't forget, if you are just playing in the common streets like I am for now on the MLB side of things, you can see I used my card swap last night. You get 1 card swap on the common level every 24 hours. You can take 1 card, click swap, and then Sorare is going to present you with 5 different options. And if you see a card that you like, you can make that trade. It's a permanent trade, so you get rid of your original card. Now that new common card is in your collection. If the 5 that Sorare presents you with don't interest you, you can back out and cancel the trade. It will reset the clock, so you'll have to still wait 24 hours for your next swap, but you won't lose that card that you put up for that potential swap. So I've got my lineup in for game week 4. We're getting started here in just under 3 hours. So I guess all I have to say is if you're just signing up, remember, sign up using the link in this description. You'll get that free limited card after the purchase of your first 5 on the primary marketplace. Not a bad deal getting a free limited card out of just signing up through that link in the description. Good luck in game week 4, and I will see you back here on Friday for game week 5.